Today we are going to read the book Nope by Drew Shanneman. Now, this book does not have very many words, so we're going to have to look at the facial expressions of the characters to kind of tell us what's going on. Now, if you look at them, how would you describe how he's feeling? He's feeling scared, maybe? He looks a little scared, doesn't he? Yeah. So, I want you to turn to your neighbor and give them your best scary face. Okay. Now I want you to give them your best afraid face. Now I want you to give them your best happy face. How about your best surprise face? All right, those are expressions, facial expressions, the story we tell with our face. So we're going to look and see if we can tell how the story through the expressions of the birds. All right? All right. Yeah. So this first, he's pretty far away. That looks a nice, peaceful forest. Once upon a time, in a nice, peaceful forest, Mama Bird came to the nest and encouraged Little Bird to learn to fly. Look, how does Little Bird look? Does Little Bird look like he wants to fly? Kind of hiding behind Mama Bird, isn't he? I don't think Little Bird's very excited about learning to fly. There it goes. Yeah. Can you think of a time where you had to do something you were kind of scared to do? Yeah, all those things are scary. So he hops to the edge of the nest and he looks down. How do you think he's feeling right now? Nervous, yeah, scared. Oh, what does that face tell you? Yeah. Oh, nope. Not gonna do it. That's what he says to his ma. But Mama Bird's giving him a little nudge there. I think she says, you can do it. You can do it. Give it a try. Does he look very happy here? What's that facial expression? Everybody make a pouty face. We're pretty pouty there. What do you think Mama Bird's telling him right here? Right here? She's saying, you can do it. Now go give it a try. So Baby Bird hops to the edge of the nest, looks down, and thinks, what if there's a cat down there? Things might happen. You might get eaten by the cat. You're right. You think that happens? No, I don't think so either. What kind of face is that? Scary. Shake, shake, shake. Oh, I don't want to even think about that. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Get those thoughts out of my head. No scary cat. No scary cat. Looks over the edge. What do you think he sees? What are those? Scary wolves! What if they're down there? You think there's scary wolves down there? Think he tries to fly? I think he says, nope! No way, Mama! She look like she's buying it? Look like she's gonna say, okay. I don't think so. He's pretty sure he's not going to. He's telling her about it. No, 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 look over there. See? There's no way. I'm terrified. I looked down. Oh, I fainted. No way. Not gonna do it. What does that look? Do you ever get that look from Mom or Dad? What did that tell you? Nope. Not getting out of it. You're going to have to do it. What's his face say? He's not very happy about having to try again, is he? Oh, he gets to the edge. He's looking back. What are those? Alligators? What if there's alligators down there? Nope, 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 nope. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to try. Nope, no, nyen, nyet. All different ways to say nope. Does that look like Mom's giving in? Does it look like little bird's giving in? Who do you think wins that argument? I think you're right. What's happening here? Mama bird gives them big hugs, smothers him with kisses. A few more words of encouragement, and then, whoop! Surprise! She kind of nudges him out of the nest. What's he got to do? Flap, 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 flap. Look at that face. Terrified. Look what Mom did. Everybody make a terrified face. Oh! Now, he could just fall. I think he begins to panic. Flap, 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 flap. Oh. Oh. Look what he can do. Oh. Not too sure about it yet. Getting better. He's flying over the water. Flying like the butterfly. Flying up to the nest. And Mama says, yep. Look at that face, though. What do you think? Yeah. Have you ever realized that you could do something after you've tried it? It maybe isn't so bad. Maybe takes a little more practice, but you can do that. Yeah. Chose this book in our text set because it talks about anxiety and trying things for the first time. And even though it didn't have words, it had expressions. And it goes with just the being brave and dealing with your fears. The second book that I have is There Ma Be Lobsters by Carolyn Crimmy. Now, let's look at this book. This book is in the text set also because of the anxiety. So we're talking about being scared about things. Okay, where does this book take place? On the ocean. Now, does she look like she's scared of the ocean? She's already got one foot in the ocean. She doesn't look like she's scared of lobsters. Who might be scared of lobsters? Yeah, the puppy might be. The puppy might be scared of lobsters because she looks like she's having fun. Can you think of a time where you've been scared to do something? Even though it looks like everybody else is having fun? I'll tell you a time when I was scared to do something. We went on vacation, and my daughters wanted to do parasailing. And they put a great big, like, parachute on you, like a backpack kind of. And you sit on the edge of a boat, and the boat starts taking off. And then that wind fills up the parasail, and you lift up, and you go up into the sky, and you can see everything. And I was really scared. I didn't want to do that. But the girls went up, and then it looked like really fun. So I was stuck on the boat trying to decide whether I wanted to try that because it looked really fun, but I was still scared, and I wanted to stay in the safety of the boat. Have you ever been scared of trying something new? Well, let's see what happens here. I want you to see if we can figure out who's scared and why. There Might Be Lobsters by Carolyn Crimmy, illustrated by Laurel Molk. Come on, Suki, you can do it, said Eleanor. She stood at the bottom of the stairs to the beach and waved to Suki. Suki must be her puppy. Yeah. What does she want him to do? She said, you can do it. What does she want him to do? Come down the steps, I think. Come play in the sand. Does Suki look like he wants to? Why not? Why do you think he doesn't want to? But Suki was just a small dog. And the stairs were big and sandy. And she hadn't had her lunch yet. And her foot hurt a little. And she might get a shell stuck up her nose. And she might tumble down on her head. And then she'd need stitches. Besides, there might be lobsters. So Suki sat at the top of the stairs with Chunka-Munka by her side. Now, does Suki look very happy? No, pretty sad. Yeah. Does she have good reasons for not trying? Getting a shell stuck up her nose? I don't know about that. Not having lunch yet? That stop you from playing in the sand? You think, does she try? Oh, all right, said Eleanor. She picked them both up with a tisk and a huff and carried them down the stairs. Does it sound like maybe she's done that before? A tisk and a huff. She has to do things for Suki. Come on, Suki, you can do it, said Eleanor. She tossed a beach ball Suki's way. Oh, dogs like playing with balls. Does it look like he's going to have fun? Is he running to the ball or away from the ball? Yeah. But Suki was just a small dog. And the beach ball was big and beachy, and it might hit her on the nose, and then it would pop, and it might be too loud, or it might knock her down, and she might never get up again, and she might have to live on the beach forever and eat seaweed to survive. And besides, beach balls attract lobsters. So Suki sat far away from the beach ball with Chunka-Munka by her side. Heard of fraidy cats before. Suki may be a fraidy dog? Seems way too scared about things. What would you tell Suki if you wanted her to come play? Convince her it would be okay, huh? Oh, Suki! Eleanor swooped that pup up with a tisk and a huff and cradled her in her arms. Come on, Suki, you can do it! Eleanor stood at the water's edge and splashed a little splash at Suki. Do you think Suki's going to get in the water? Think she's going to have some excuses? What excuses might she have this time? There might be lobsters. What else? Might be cold. It might be wet. Those are good ideas. But Suki was just a small dog. And those waves were big. And they were whooshy. And they were salty. And they were too wet. And they might toss her out into the middle of the sea. And she might float all the way to Tasmania or Florida. And she might be swallowed by a whale. And she wasn't wearing a bathing suit. And besides, there might be lobsters. So Suki sat at the edge of the water with Chunka-Munka by her side. Look at her facial expression. Does she wish she could play in the water and on the sand and with a ball? I think she'd like to. She's just afraid to. "Oh, Sookie," said Eleanor. She shook her head and dove into the waves. At least she didn't pick her up and make her go swimming. Yeah. But Eleanor's not afraid, is she? Does Sookie look like she wants to get in the water? Oh, let's see. Is that dog afraid? No, that dog doesn't look afraid. Look at all those people having fun. Yeah, there's Eleanor. Sookie sat and watched beach balls bouncing and big boys running and umbrellas flapping and lifeguards blowing loud whistles and waves splish-splashing with Chunka-Munka. Oh, floating out to sea! Sookie barked for Chunka-Munka to come back. But Chunka-Munka started to sink. Uh-oh, look at Sookie now. Where is she? In the ocean. Sookie started to paddle. She paddled past a big beachy ball and through a huge salty wave and over something that might even be a lobster. Is she going to get Chunka-Munka? I think she might save it. Until she had Chunka-Munka, he was safe. Sookie had saved him. All the way out there in the water. You think she's feeling pretty brave now? She felt braver than the bravest dog because even though she was very small, Chunka-Munka was smaller. "Oh, Sookie, I knew you could do it," said Eleanor. She picked them both up with a yay and a hooray and swung them very gently through the air. Oh, look at how happy Sookie looks now. Sookie sat in the sandy sand with the wavy waves and watched for lobsters with Chunka-Munka by her side. Does she look happy now? Yes. She does. Uh-oh. Look at all of the other. He doesn't look very happy though, does he? No. Yep. The seagull stole the... And they didn't see one all day. So that made it into the text set because it was another book about trying something new, being afraid, overcoming your fears. Third book is Fancy Nancy, Saturday Night Sleepover, written by Jane O'Connor and illustrated with Robin Glasser. Right. This book is one of a series. We have lots of Fancy Nancy books in our library, don't we? Yes, what do you remember about Fancy Nancy? She likes things fancy, yes. She always tries new things and she's very, very pretty, right? All right, Saturday Night Sleepover. How many of you have been on a sleepover? What is a sleepover? You're right. A sleepover is when one or more of your friends spends the night at your house or you spend the night somewhere else. So it's a sleepover. So, do you think Fancy Nancy is going to be scared at the sleepover or brave at the sleepover? Brave? Because she's a pretty brave girl, right? All right. How many of you have slept someplace where it's been scary? I have been slept someplace. Sometimes when I stay at my mom and dad's house, it's not the house I grew up in, so I'm not used to it, and I hear noises at night, and I maybe don't get scared, but I wonder what they are. Do you ever hear noises at night and you wonder what they are? Yep. Well, let's see if she hears scary noises or if she's brave. Wait until you hear this. My mom just won a weekend at the Whispering Pines Resort. A resort is like a motel, only with way fancy, with tons of outdoor recreation. So they're playing golf. And this is at parasailing where there's like a Mine had a parachute. This looks more like a helicopter, but the boat pulls you and you get to look. And they're snorkeling, and she's excited. She look like she's afraid of that sleepover? Not at all. So, when do we leave? I ask. Should I start packing now? Actually, only Dad gets to come with me, my mom said. I am flabbergasted. That's a fancy word for shocked. But, you and Dad won't have any fun without JoJo and me. Have your parents ever gone someplace without you? Yes. I think they're very happy about it. No, they're getting left behind. I'm not happy about that at all. It's only one night, my mom points out. Then she makes a call and tells us that my sister and I will get to sleep over at Mrs. Devine's. Oh, that's way better. I adore Mrs. Devine. Even if her house isn't a resort, it's by far the fanciest in the neighborhood. JoJo is not as reasonable as I am. No, 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 she cries. Don't go. I'll miss you. Let me handle this, I tell my mom. I'll be with you the whole time, I explain to my sister, so you won't get scared or lonely. How many of you are the bigger brother or sister and have to help your little brothers or sisters with things? Yes. Is Fancy Nancy a good sister? So who's scared in this story right now? JoJo's scared. Yes, and Fancy Nancy's brave. Right. JoJo will feel braver if we rehearse for the sleepover. Rehearsing is fancy for practicing, so we go over to Mrs. Devine's. Is that true? If you practice something, is it less scary? Oh. In the guest room, I pretend to fall asleep. I snore a little to make it seem like more real. Are you really asleep? JoJo asks. No, I say, but see how easy it would be? I may not have mentioned this, but I am practically an expert on sleepovers ever since Bree spent the night last Friday. An expert is somebody who's really, really good at it, probably because they've done it a lot. She started last Friday. Is she an expert yet? Probably not, but is she feeling pretty confident about it? She is. Back at home, I show JoJo my photo album. Look at all the fun we had, I say. Although the real sleepover isn't until next Saturday, we start packing. What kinds of things do you need to take to a sleepover? Sleeping bag, blanket. I also make a sleepover survival kit for JoJo. Here's what's in it, JoJo, I say. I show her the checklist. Nightlight, because JoJo's scared of the dark. Earmuffs, to block out weird noises. That is a good idea. I haven't thought of that. JoJo's favorite sandwich, since she's a picky eater. And a photo so we can kiss Mom and Dad goodnight. Voila! I've thought of everything. Voila is French, kind of fancy for see? Is that a good list? Nightlight, I like lights. I hadn't thought about earmuffs or a picture. Those are good ideas. Before we know it, the big night has arrived. When my parents leave, JoJo doesn't shed a single tear. Well, she doesn't look scared at all. Well, look at all the things she's packed. That's quite a bag there. Plus, they've got this bag and that bag for one night. Do you think they have enough things? Brought it off. She even eats all of her dinner. It's chicken a la king, which is fancy and French. I am very proud of my little sister. Turns out that Mrs. Devine is also an expert at sleepovers. We try out different hairstyles. Ooh. We put on a fashion show. JoJo and I are practically dripping with jewelry. Later, we watch a movie. JoJo falls fast asleep before it ends. Mrs. Devine says, "All the merriment has me exhausted too." She means she's wiped out from so much fun. Even the little puppy's tired. Not this one. Mrs. Devine carries my sister upstairs. "Sweet dreams," she says once we're in bed, and she blows us a kiss. Soon I hear snoring. "Psst, Jojo," I whisper. "Are you asleep or faking?" No answer. Is Jojo scared at all? Doesn't look like it. Jojo was very brave. Who might be getting a little scared now? It's very dark in here. Too dark! Look at her facial expressions. Oh, too dark. How many of you don't like the dark? Me neither. It couldn't hurt to turn on Jojo's nightlight. But soon I heard a weird noise. Scratch, scratch, scratching at the door. What could it be? You think it is? What is it? Oh, it might be. It might be a puppy or a kitty. Do you have one that scratches at your door? I am very courageous. That's fancy for brave. So I open it. I don't think I would be that. If I hear scary noises, I don't go find out what they are. But phew, it's only Frenchie. Still, I put on the earmuffs. Now I can't hear a thing. It's probably better to not hear scary noises. She's got her light on. She's got her earmuffs on. What else was on the list? Can you remember? I can't even hear the clock ticking, but I see it's almost dawn. That's fancy for sunrise. I am still wide awake. Maybe I'm hungry. My mom says never to go to bed on an empty stomach. I eat the sandwich I packed for Jojo. But it doesn't help. Who's using all of the sleepover supplies, the survival kit? Neither does seeing my parents smiling at me. Uh-oh, what does it actually do? Makes her sad. The sleepover is not going as she had planned. Psst, Jojo, I whisper. Are you missing Mom and Dad? I am almost 100% positive. That's fancy for sure. That Jojo gives a little nod. Do you think Jojo gave a little nod? I think she's wanting her to. So, I curl up in bed with Jojo. I put my arm around her. I can tell my little sister feels much better. Bonne nuit, I whisper. That's French for good night. A moment later, my eyes start to close. Aww. The next day, all the Clancys are reunited. We are all together again. Jojo wasn't scared. Not with me there, I tell my parents. My dad scoops us both up. There is nothing better than a sister. Did Jojo need Fancy Nancy? Did Fancy Nancy need Jojo? I picked this book because it deals with anxiety about not new things, things that you think you can handle, but you're still scared to do once you do them. And bravery and overcoming fear. And the last book is School's First Day of School by Adam Rex. All right. I want you to look closely at this book. And what do you notice about the buildings? Do you notice anything familiar? Yes, it looks like they have faces. The eyes are the windows, and the nose is the door, and then kind of the bottom, yeah. Does that building look like it has a face? And its facial expressions, what does that building tell us? He looks like he's happy, yeah. School's first day of school. What do you think that might be about? Yeah, how the school feels on the first day of school? I'm going to tell you a secret. It doesn't matter how many years I teach. On the first day of school, I always get a little nervous, and I have a little bit of butterflies. You think the school building has butterflies? I want us to look at the pictures in the book and kind of the facial expressions of the book, of the building, and see how he feels during the day. Okay? Have you ever thought about how a building might feel? I talk to things all the time. When my printer isn't working, I talk to it and say, what's wrong with you? What do you need now? Oh, are you out of paper? Are you hungry? And I'll say things like that the printer doesn't really talk, but I act like it does. Do you think the buildings sometimes have feelings? Yeah. All right, well, let's see how this building's feeling. School's First Day of School by Adam Rex and pictures by Christian Robinson. Here we go. Look at the faces. They're very boring faces, but the school is happy face, excited face. That summer, they dug up the big field and poured the foundation and set brick on top of brick until they built a school. The foundation. Foundation means the building blocks, the surface. Yeah, where we started. You need a strong foundation to hold up. So they've got it. A sign above the door read, Frederick Douglass Elementary. That's a good name for me, thought the school. Does he look like he's proud to be Frederick Douglass Elementary? Most days, a man named Janitor came to mop the school and buff his floors and wash his windows. This is nice, the school said to Janitor. Just the two of us. Won't be just the two of us for long, said Janitor. Soon the teachers will come, and then you'll be filled with children. What do you think? How do you think school feels about that? Does he know what children are? Does he know what it's like to be filled with children? He's a brand new school. The school creaked. Children? All kinds of children. They'll come to play games and to learn. Oh, said the school. Will you be here? You'll see me after the school day is over, said Janitor. Don't worry. You'll like the children. But the school thought that Janitor was probably wrong about that. You think the school's going to be sad about the children? Why would he think? Because it's new and it's something he's not used to. Then they came, the children did, and there were more of them than the school could possibly have imagined. Now look at the school's face. Kind of looks like the other old buildings. Is he a little nervous? Yeah. Looks a little nervous. Do the children look nervous? Not too many of them. Yeah. They got everywhere. They opened and closed all of his doors and lockers and drank water from his fountains and played on his jungle gym. So that's what that's for, thought the school. Yeah, he didn't even know what all those funny tunnels and ladders and rings were for. Probably thought a lot of things. Some of the older kids gathered by the school's back fence and showed each other their bored faces. If you make a bored face. This place stinks, said one, and the school gasped. Is that very nice to say? No. I hate school, said another, with puffy hair, to the aggrievement of his friends. The school sagged a little. Well, does he know why they hate him? No. They don't look happy at all. How would that make you feel when you don't know why somebody's saying things that don't sound very nice? Pretty sad, yeah. One very small girl with freckles didn't want to come inside the school at all. Her mother had to carry her. I must be awful, the school whispered to himself. Later, he squirted the puffy-haired kid in the face, but then he felt bad about it afterward. Is that a good way to get along with people? No. Even if they hurt our feelings, should we do that? He watched the kindergarten kid sit on one of his rugs. The teacher said, "As we go around the circle, please tell us your name." There was an Aiden, and a Max, and a Bella, and another Aiden, and an Emma, and a Caden, and a Chloe. The small girl with freckles was next, but she wouldn't speak. She only stared at her shoes until the teacher moved on. "I don't like school," she whispered into her lap. Well, thought the school, maybe it doesn't like you either. Is the school being very nice again? No. We don't know why she doesn't like school. The school's not being very nice. The children were in their chairs, finally. But just as the school was starting to relax, his fire alarm sounded, and all the children exited and walked to the other side of the field and stared at him. He was so embarrassed. You ever had people stare at you and you're embarrassed and you feel bad? He held his doors open for them when they returned. "Sorry," he said as the first child entered. "Sorry, sorry, sorry." He told them all, even the girl with the freckles. Felt bad. At 12 o'clock, the school was filled with food. At 12:30, the school was filled with garbage. At one table, a boy told a funny joke, and another boy laughed so hard the milk came out his nose. "Ew, now I'm covered with nose milk," thought the school. He had to admit, it was a pretty funny joke, though. Even the girl with freckles laughed. After lunch, the kindergarten kids learned about shapes. "A rectangle has 4 sides," said the teacher. 1, 2, 3, 4. "And a square has 4 sides, too. In fact, a square is a special kind of a rectangle." "Wow," said the school. "I did not know that." Is he feeling better again? Is he learning? Afterward, the children made pictures with glitter and paste. The girl with freckles made a picture of the school. "It looks just like me," thought the school, except the glittery. "It's like she's known me all my life." "Do you think I could have your picture?" the teacher asked her. "Don't tell anyone, but I think it's the best." The school thought she was probably right about that. The freckled girl smiled when the teacher stuck her drawing into the school wall with a pushpin. "Ouch," said the school. But he didn't really mind. Not really. At 3 o'clock, the parents came to pick up the children. Oh, look how he's feeling again. Feeling a little better? Yeah. At 3:30, janitor came to pick up the school. "I was full of kids," the school told him, "and I heard a joke, and I accidentally had a fire drill, but everyone was nice about it. And I listened to a classroom, and I learned about shapes." There's janitor just cleaning up. "You had a big day," said janitor. "Do you think," the school said, "do you think you could invite everyone to come back tomorrow? Especially that little freckled girl?" Janitor nodded. "I'll see what I can do." Think everybody comes back? I think everybody comes back too. Later, janitor sat on top of the school, and they watched the sun go down. "In the beginning, I didn't know what I was," said the school. "I thought I was your house." "Nope," said janitor. I suppose some other place gets to be called your house," the school added. Janitor nodded. "That's true. But you get to be a school. That's lucky." And the school thought he was probably right about that. that book was in the collection also because it also talked about anxiety and seeing it from a different person's perspective. And even though things are new every year, they can still be exciting. Oops, sorry.